All right, for today's lesson, you're going to need the sheet that says dividing rational expressions. So starting off today, it's pretty much just like multiplying. We're going to break things down the same way, except we're going to divide, which is really just multiplying by the reciprocal because we are dividing fractions. And if you remember, when you divided fractions, you might remember keep, change, flip. That's going to be the same concept. So if I'm looking at number 1 here, 2 just remains. On the bottom here, I'm trying to break that one up. So x, 2 numbers then that multiply to a -8, but add to a -2. So it's going to be a -4 and a +2. Okay, now up here, I'm going to break it up and put it up here because in a second, you're going to see why. I'm going to pull out my 2 for my GCF for this top one. So I get 2, then parentheses x plus 9. And then on the bottom, I'm also going to pull out a GCF. So 8 and 72, my GCF is an 8. And they both share at least 2 x's. So I pull out 8x squared, which means back goes in this x to make 8x squared times x, 8x cubed. And then a +9 for 8x squared times 9 equals 72x squared. So dividing fractions, keep the first one, change the sign to multiplication, flip the second fraction. So I'm going to turn it upside down, put this part up top, and then this part on the bottom. Okay, now it's like what we did in the previous lesson. So I'm going to start finding things to cancel. So this cancels. This cancels. These 2's cancel. And then I just rewrite what's left. So I have 8x squared up top. And then on the bottom, I have my x minus 4. And then a parentheses x plus 2. Okay, number 2. Start off up top here. I see I can pull a GCF out of here. And it looks like that's just going to be a 2. So back goes a 7x minus 8. On the bottom, same numbers. So a 2, and then, but this one is x squared, that one is x. So I pull out an x there. And then back goes a 7x minus an 8. Okay, up top, I see I do have a GCF on this top one, so I pull out a 3. And then back goes the x plus 4 to make that equal to 3x plus 12. So keep the first fraction, change the sign, flip the second one. So put 3 up top, and then 3 times the quantity x plus 4 on the bottom. Okay, I see this matches with this. That cancels. And then I have these 3's that cancel. And this is a 2. This is a 2x. Well, you can still cancel out because technically this is 2 times x. So that's the reason I can cancel this 2 with this 2. Okay, that's not x squared. That's 2 times x. And then if I just check what I got left here, you got nothing remaining up top. So there's a 1 for my placeholder. On the bottom, you had that lone x. And then you had this parentheses x plus 4. Okay, number 3. Look at number 3. Looks like this one's got quite a few things that can factor out. So start with the top here. I see my numbers 24 and 48 and pull out a 24. N cubed, pulling out the n squared. And then we have n goes back to make that 24n cubed. And then plus 2. On the bottom, 6 and 27, your GCF is going to be a 3. And then n squared and n, it's going to be an n. So back goes 3n times what to make 6n squared? That's 2n. And then 3n times what is negative 27n? That's a negative 9. Okay, over here, I see up top my GCF is a 12. So I pull out a 12, and I've got n plus 2. On the bottom again, we're dealing with the exact same piece that we had over here. So you might have even said, well, I realize I'm going to flip that. I could just mark those two off. But I know that's going to factor out to the same thing that I just had, like that. Okay, so I keep, change, flip. So 3n, 2n minus 9, and then 12 over n plus 2. So these two are exactly the same because, those were exactly the same, but they're not flipped now. Okay, n plus 2 cancels. And then you got this 12 can cancel, go into there and give you 2 that remains. So all that you have remaining is this 2 and this n squared. So 2n squared is your final answer. There's nothing on the bottom. Okay, number 4. Up top, my GCF is a 3. So 3a minus 4 equals 3a minus 12. On the bottom, you pull out a 12, a minus 20. So let's see. Looks like our GCF is going to be a 4. And to multiply back, we need a 3a minus a 5. Okay, over here, 10a squared, that one does not simplify any further, but the bottom will. My GCF, 30 and 50, will be a 10. And they both have at least 2a, so I should say 10a squared. And then what goes back will be a 3a and then a minus 5. So keep, change, flip. 10a squared times 3a minus 5. And then on the bottom, 10a squared. So those 10a squareds cancel completely. 3a minus 5 cancels. And that's it. So I've got 3 times a minus 4 over 4. Okay, number 5. So up top, the 5 is ready to be broken down to parentheses. So n, 2 numbers that multiply to negative 5 but add to positive 4. So that'd be a plus 5 and a minus 1. On the bottom, this breaks up. N, 2 numbers multiply to negative 30 but add to negative n. So minus 6 and plus 5. Okay, over here, I see my GCF is going to be an 8. And then on the bottom, that would break up to n times n. 2 numbers that multiply to 18 but add to negative 9. So that'd be a negative 6 and a negative 3. So keep, change, then let's flip this. So we got n minus 6 times n minus 3 over 8 times n minus 1. All right, so I see this matches, this matches. This one matches with this one. This one matches with this one. And I only have 2 pieces left, that part and this piece. So my final answer is n minus 3 over 8. Okay, last one together, number 6. Looking at the top, pull out a GCF of a 10. Put back n plus 9. Okay, on the bottom, it's going to factor n and n. 2 numbers that multiply to a negative 36, but add to a positive 5. So say plus 9 and minus 4. Okay, on this side, pull out your 10 for your GCF up top. N minus 4 goes back. And then the bottom, it just was n plus 6. So keep, change, flip. So n plus 6 over 10 times n minus 4. So 10s cancel. My n plus 9 cancels. And then that's it. These are on the same side, so you can't cancel those out there. So we have n plus 6 over n minus 4 quantity squared because there's 2 of them. All right, you guys go ahead now and do number 7. Number 8. Number 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. And last, 16.